Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a team with Shadow Quagsire in the Open Great League. This team is stolen from the world champion itsAXN, link to his Twitch channel in the description as well. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at a team here with the Shadow Quagsire. I actually made a video about it the last time Great League was available, was then rank 4 in basically on PvPoke. Now it's even rank 3 on PvPoke, which is kinda wild, because next to nobody is using this Pokemon. It's actually a fun Pokemon to use. Here we're going to have a more of a meta line. Like the last time I took a look at this, my girlfriend built a team around it, and it actually still worked out. It still went 19-6 with the team back in the day. But now we're going to have a little bit more of a meta line. Of course, the core of Azumarill plus a Mudboy is something that has been very, very strong since the basically beginning of Go Battle League, I would say. So we're going to kind of use that one here as well. We're going to have the Azumarill in the lead. We're going to have the Quagsire and the Broguiere in the back. And I don't say what is the say swap here because it depends. Like if you encounter something in the lead, like I don't know, a Galarian Stunfisk, a Bastion, you would most likely want to go into your Broguiere instead of your Quagsire. If you encounter basically anything else, your Quagsire is most likely your say swap of choice, as a lot of people don't really expect that you have the coverage of Stone Edge, which is kind of great. Like a lot of people just instant swap into something like a Dragon type Pokemon, like an Altaria, because they think it's a Whiscash. It's not a Whiscash, it is a Quagsire. One issue that I kind of found with this team was the matchup against Azumarill. Like, it's not the biggest issue ever, but it's going to be a little bit of a tougher one to deal with. Here we're going to have a kind of neutral matchup, of course, with our lead. But here, did I actually go for the Brave Bird? I don't know if I actually went for the Brave Bird or went for the Sky Attack. You definitely kind of want to go for the Brave Bird in the beginning. But you're basically going to have a very neutral lead in the beginning. Quagsire is like a negative matchup for you, like Azumarill would win against Quagsire, but it's still going to be at least okay. And then of course you're going to still have your Broguiere in the back, which is going to be a very bad matchup for you. So I don't know, like I don't really like the matchup against Azumarill in general for this team. Not really ideal, but the last time I played this Pokemon, my team was also very weak to Azumarill. So Azumarill, I have to say, is a very good Pokemon right now. Why do I go for Sky Attack the entire time? I sure went for the Brave Bird. Like, honestly, I did those battles, by the way, while watching football, and there were some mistakes on how I play the game as well, for sure, because of this. But I completely, like, I thought while I was playing the game, so I went for Brave Bird the entire time, which is hilarious. I still win this game because the opponent forfeits here, but it's still hilarious. Honestly, like, sometimes I don't really know what is happening, but yeah, you should go for Brave Bird, especially if you go for the chip and dip strategy with your Azumarill, which is amazing actually to play like this. You kind of want to go for a Brave Bird instead, but like, honestly, like, I don't know why I did not do this. I just still kind of mind blown by this, but yeah, here Sky Attack is okay, but again, the opponent is going to let this move go through. Another Sky Attack would be enough to knock them out. They're going to know already at this point, of course, that we don't have to shield. The next one is just going to be a Rock Slide. No Thunderbolt on this Deoxys, and so I can overfarm by a little bit. Go for a charge move. Let's see if they're going to use a shield or not. They decide to let this move go through, and we see a Granbull swapping in. Issue here is I still get to move totally fine, but Deoxys defense in the lead, Granbull as your say swap against a Steel type Pokemon. This can only really mean one thing, and you kind of already know what I kind of want to talk about here right now. The opponent is going to run, most likely, another Fairy-type Pokemon in the back at this point, having, yeah, a double Charm line here, which is still actually viable in this season as well, which is kind of mad, but it is what it is. Here we can still go ahead and go for an Awkward Tail. That's going to do some decent damage. I can go for another one. We have to hope that we can farm them down with our Broguiere before they can go for a charge move, but sadly this is not enough damage yet, and so the opponent is going to be able to go for the charge move and knock me out, and we can move on to the next one. So this team can be a little bit tricky for Double Charm, but let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have here the Broguiere in the lead. Shadow Broguiere is going to be a matchup where you can stay in. I think you win this in a 2-shield scenario as a Azumarill just because you do enough damage with your fast moves alone, which is kind of great. But you can also just get a shield advantage here, which is kind of nice as well. Especially if you get them kind of low, you can swap out into the Quagsire and you even get them into a range where you can just go for an Awkward Tail. Yeah, I'm going to try to catch a move onto my Quagsire as well. But yeah, the opponent goes for one charge move here. I decided to still use the shield actually, which is interesting. I don't remember why I did this, but I can still go for a charge move now. This is going to be able to knock them out or get the shield from the opponent. We get the final shield, which maybe allows us even to farm them all the way here. We're going to decide to use another shield as well. Let's see what they're gonna swap into. They swap into their own Azumarill, which is a great matchup for us. Awkward Tail is going to be neutral. Awkward Tail is going to be stab. Awkward Tail is going to be buffed this season. So it is going to do quite a lot of damage, and with this we can go for another one. This is going to be able to connect as well, going to put them close to the right health already, and I can try to catch a move here which works out perfectly. And like this, we're going to be able to now catch a Sky Attack which does not knock us out, but we can still go for our own Brave Bird, which is going to knock out the opponent. And this play was really great for us now, because the opponent's going to go down, we can realign our Pokemon. It's going to be a Lantern in the back, which is going to be game over at this point already, even if they catch a move here, which they do for whatever reason I threw here. Again, like, I was not paying full attention to the battles, which definitely kind of hurt me quite a bit there as well, so kind of apologize for this, but at least Germany won for the first time in like 10 years in football, which is kind of great. But yeah, we're gonna be able to go ahead and go for a Body Slam here with our Dragonair. Dragonair is going to be able to still get them low. We can just go for one Awkward here and still win. But it's going to be a game that I purposely put in there, which I really misplayed later on, so definitely check that one out as well and stay tuned for that. Next opponent, we're going to have a Quagsire here. Quagsire has nowhere to go for this team, but I still kind of always like to keep my Skarmory alive and like kind of healthy for this team. I kind of still play like an ABB line, because I feel like there are like those common weaknesses with the backline that is kind of important for me to keep my Skarmory around. Here I decided to go for the Brave Bird. Do way less damage than I expected, but the opponent swaps out into a Dragonair, which allows me to just go straight for the Stone Edge, which is going to be great. You know what's also going to be great? After one Stone Edge, you only need 3 more fast moves to go for one Awkward Tail, and so we're gonna be able to force a shield from the opponent or knock them out here, which is going to be amazing as well. Like, getting to the next Awkward Tail after only 3 fast moves after a Stone Edge is really important for the Quagsire and makes his Pokemon so much better to play, allowing us to realign, which is amazing for me. And in comes a Feraligatr, and with this we're going to have the knowledge that we just need the damage output basically from our Dragonair onto the opponent, and we should be kind of fine. But again, I am going to misplay this one, which is really sad, because like, I don't know why I do this, because there is no reason for this. The opponent decides to go ahead and go for the next charge move, going to force my final shield from me, which is totally fine. The opponent is also very low with the Feraligatr, but I decide to stay in against the Quagsire. I don't know why I do this. Like, there's no reason for it. I was thinking that they have a little bit less energy than they actually had, but they already get to the move now. And now I'm basically missing my best Pokemon for the end game for some silly reasons. It does not really make any sense why I did this, but we can still kind of try to recover from it, because as you can see here, Stone is coming through. We can go for the full farm down, and we should be able to end up here with 2 Sky Attacks, and so we can go for back-to-back Sky Attacks against the opponent's Feraligatr, and we can still win the game. But again, like, there are ways to play it better. Definitely I should pay a little bit more attention next time, but let's move on to the next opponent. Let's see where I misplay here. At least I'm honest with you about this kind of stuff. Like, I don't really want to be like, oh, look at me playing this perfectly. Like, there are games, of course, and there are going to be videos where I play perfectly, but I definitely have a lot to improve on here. And I would not say that the team is bad at all. I think the team is great to play. I think the team has a lot of possible options to win, especially. Like, if you think about it, like, you're going to have the weakness in the lead for Skarmory, for Electric-type Pokemon, as well as Fire-type Pokemon. Quagsire can cover for it, but also the Dragonair can cover for it. You're going to have weaknesses for like Grass-type Pokemon for the Quagsire, which Skarmory completely destroys, but even if the Skarmory is going to be gone, you're going to be able to still deal with Grass-type Pokemon with your Dragonair. For Dragonair, you're going to have weaknesses against Ice-type Pokemon, where you're going to be super effective with your lead against, which is kind of great, but you're still going to be able to hit them for super effective damage even with your Stone Edge from Quagsire, which is wild. So basically, the team is on paper perfect, and like, it is kind of mad how strong this team can be, and I would really recommend you to try this team out, because it is a very solid team. I just sometimes kind of misplay here some stuff, which is kind of okay for me, but yeah, it's not the team issue, it's this time around for sure the me issue. I don't even want to blame the game because of lag or whatever. It was a little bit clunky as well, but it's currently kind of the state of the game. I don't know why it's really that bad since the last update, but we will see. Maybe they can fix it again. But here we're gonna see actually a Hippowdon, which is kind of funny. Honestly, I make a mistake here as well. I should have went for my Quagsire most likely and just went for a charge move, but yeah, definitely I should have done that. Because what I could have done, I could have went for the Awkward Tail, could have swapped out afterwards, because then the switch clock would have been up into my Dragonair and farm them down. Like this, I have to swap out into my, into my Quagsire. I thought I need the Stone Edge anyway against the Trevenant in order to knock them out. And I do kind of need this, but I feel like I would have been in a way better spot if I just went for one Awkward Tail, swap out, and then basically align my Dragonair and don't get damage on it. But it is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. So this is something that is also kind of important to notice, because a lot of times when you battle like yourself, you don't always see your mistakes. You don't always see why do you lose a game. And a lot of times team comp, like definitely a lot of times it's just that you have teams that are not really winnable, or like the opponent gets like boost or whatever. But as you can see in the example gameplay that you see here for this team, a lot of times it's just a me issue. Like it's also the same going to happen to you as well. So I would always recommend you, if you want to get better at Go Battle League, if you want to try to hit Legend, the best thing that you can do is record your own battles and basically mainly watch back every loss that you do, because losses are the best thing to learn. Here, for example, the opponent forgot to throw that charge move, so we're going to be able to win this game, but we can move on to the next opponent. And this is a game here basically which I kind of want to talk about the most as well. This is going to be a game which I completely misplay, and only because I was not really paying too much attention to it, and I can definitely show you how to win this game if you would play it a little bit better. First off, we're going to have the matchup against a Whiscash. Totally fine to go for the Brave Bit first. We're going to get a shield with it. So far, so good. We can swap it into a Quagsire, going to be able to hit another Awkward here. So far, so good. Everything is totally fine. The opponent didn't get a Scald debuff in the beginning, which didn't really matter. Maybe they would have let the move go through then. They didn't get the debuff here as well, which maybe puts them into range for another Awkward here. Spoiler alert, I don't think it's going to be enough. But yeah, it is not going to be enough. But still going to put them to farm down range, which is kind of nice for me. Now they're going to be able to go for another Scald. This time around they get the attack drop, which is totally fair, like definitely fair on them. And we're gonna see the Gligar coming in. So far so awesome, like we're completely walling the opponent here, right? So we're gonna be able to go for one charge move here, we can go for another charge move. This looks like nearly even a CMP tie. I'm not too sure if this is going to be actually a CMP tie. It is a CMP tie. And so the opponent only has one Pokemon in the bag. How could we screw this one up? We're going to still have two Pokemon. It is going to be a Registeel. So far so bad, right? Like Registeel is going to be a hard wall to both of our Pokemon, which is correct. Like if you encounter this in the lead, you would want to go into your Dragonair instead of your Quagsire for sure. But how did I screw this one up? And I can show you right now. Because the opponent goes for a Focus Blast here, all totally fine. We can still go for an Awkward here. This is going to force a shield. What we can do now is we can overfarm by quite a bit. We can overfarm by quite a lot, to be fair. And now we were able to catch the next move. And here this is going to be the Focus Blast. So far I played it perfectly, literally. But here I make a huge mistake. I decide to go for a charge move. The opponent makes the only cool call here of going basically for the swap onto the Gligar, which is smart. There was no reason for me to go for this play. Like there was no reason for even throwing a charge move. I could have just stayed in. If the opponent goes for a Focus Blast, I would speed them with my Dragonair. If the opponent swaps out, I can farm them down. I would win the game. I just completely screw the game up here, and this is my own fault. Final game for today. Still, again, like this team is amazing. I would really recommend you to use this. Like itsAXN got up to 2,800 with this team, and I feel like if I play it now, not like in the evening at like midnight, I would have been definitely also a little bit better off playing this team here. So definitely a really good team to use. I think it has like so much play in so many different scenarios. It's really versatile. You can play it in like if you have like a really bad lead, there are like so many different kind of ways of play this team out, and I just really enjoy this one as well. So like if you want to have a really good team, this is something that you should try out for sure. If you have the Dragonair as well, if you have the Quagsire, this team is just really great. We're gonna see here the Wigglytuff coming in. We're gonna see the Feraligatr coming in as well. We're totally fine at this point, by the way. I don't really fear anything in this game. We can go for one shield, we can go for one Sky Attack, go if we went for the Brave, but I'm fairly certain that the opponent is going to use a shield here. And we can swap out into our Quagsire. We can even take a move if we wanted to. I don't really want to be fair, because we know that the Wigglytuff needs like 10 years to get to a charge move, and so the Hydro Cannon is coming through, the Stone Edge is coming through, the Stone Edge is going to knock out the Feraligatr, and with this the opponent has nowhere to go anymore, as the Wigglytuff should be in range for one Stone Edge, and so Stone Edge coming through should be able to knock them out, and this is going to be it for this video. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, hopefully you learned from my mistakes, but this team is amazing. I would really recommend you to try it out. I think it's super good to play right now, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.